Part of the fantasy about being rich and famous includes staying that way for life. Becoming a star would be the perfect excuse to leave our soul-crushing jobs behind and never look back. But we'll show you some celebs who left the limelight for good and now live among the rest of us mere mortals. To get the best possible look at the most extraordinary content around, be sure to hit the subscribe button and turn on your notifications. Jack Gleeson. Before we directed our seething hatred to Ramsay Bolton or Cersei Lannister, there was the original most hated person in all of Westeros, King Joffrey Baratheon. Few characters in all of television inspired the rage that Joffrey did and made it seem normal for adults to cheer on as a teenager choked on screen. By all accounts, the actor behind the crown, Jack Gleeson, is actually a very nice person and nothing at all like Joffrey. While Joffrey was all about power and control, Jack was more laid back and claimed that he would retire from acting once the show ended. Having acted since he was a young boy of 8, Jack needed a break and wanted to take some time to focus on more academic pursuits. He appeared at a few fan conventions from time to time, but seemed to be perfectly content in his more ordinary life. While Game of Thrones is the hottest show on television at the moment, we are guessing that Jack could have his pick of acting roles. Instead, he's decided to opt for living the struggling actor trope and now works with a small theater company. The biggest thing he's been in recently is a play called Bears in Space, and it's exactly what it sounds like. Jack claims he doesn't really view it as acting, and he never plans to go back to being a star. Jonas. As the eldest member of the Jonas Brothers, it seemed inconceivable to many that Kevin Jonas would ever stop making music. Maybe he got tired of the throbbing mobs of teenage girls, or perhaps he just needed some time apart from his brothers. Whatever the reason, Kevin decided to focus his skills on something much simpler, creating apps. Well, one app in particular which Kevin called Yude. He claims that he has always been interested in science and coding, and this seemed like a natural next step for him after years of superstardom. While he doesn't code the app himself, he came up with the idea and has been integral to its success. The app was downloaded 10,000 times in the first 12 hours it hit the market and 30,000 times after just 3 days. It allows users to search for local eateries to satisfy even the most obscure of food cravings. The second version also searches for other businesses as well, and Kevin describes it as a sort of virtual concierge. Love watching our videos but looking for a more ad-free browsing experience? Take your video viewing to the next level and sign up for the Premium Network. You'll get the first peek at the newest content from not only TheRichest, but Screen Rant, The Taco, The Sportster, The Things, and many more. Thousands of your favorite videos in one place is a no-brainer. Click here to be the first in line for the premium. Dylan Sprouse. Although it seems strange to mention one of the Sprouse brothers and not the other, we're going to focus on Dylan Sprouse for a bit. Dylan and his brother Cody are best known for starring in the Disney sitcom The Sweet Life of Zack and Cody. In 2007, they were two of the wealthiest children alive, and in 2010, they were the highest-paid teenage Disney television actors. Although it's hard to imagine topping that, Dylan decided that the best way to do so was to hit the bottle. No, he didn't get a DUI, and you won't be seeing him in rehab. He decided to open up his own brewery. All Wise Meadery is located inside the William Vale Hotel in the Williamsburg section of Brooklyn, New York. And he's doing far more than just using his wealth to finance the place. He's actually the brewmaster. His specialty is a honey wine, which he makes by fermenting honey with water, fruit, and spices. Dylan claims that he started experimenting with home brewing at a young age, and while other college kids were chugging PBR, he was trying to perfect his mead recipe. Guests to All Wise Meadery will be able to tour the basement where the mead is created and learn about the production process. Amanda Bynes. Many of us fell in love with Amanda Bynes when she wowed us with her spot-on Ross Perot impression on the show All That. Later, she went on to appear in She's the Man, Hairspray, Easy A, and many more. However, as she seemed to be growing up right before our eyes, it became clear that Amanda was going through some personal struggles. In 2012, she was charged with a DUI after sideswiping a police car in Hollywood. After a couple more hit-and-run incidents and a possession charge, we saw Amanda becoming more like 2007 Britney Spears than the girl that used to make us laugh. Thankfully, her mother was granted a temporary conservatorship and helped get Amanda the help she so desperately needed. Since she wasn't on screen or in the news, many of us wondered what she was up to. In addition to getting sober, Amanda had been taking classes at the Fashion Institute of Design and Merchandising in Los Angeles. While she has confessed that she hopes to act in the near future, she's also dedicated to her job designing clothes and is working on launching a new fashion line. Jonathan Bennett. Jonathan Bennett is one Mean Girls star that we would definitely let sit with us. He's also been in other films such as Cheaper by the Dozen 2 and Love Wrecked, the latter of which also starred Amanda Bynes. While many actors have extensive workout routines while filming, Jonathan made working out into his career when he took a break from acting. He teaches spinning classes at Flywheel in Los Angeles. According to Jonathan, he's always been interested in physical fitness, and living in LA, he got sucked into the fitness culture. He loved working out in a group setting and decided to help other people reach their fitness goals as well. Yes, you might think your spin instructor is out to make your life, or at least the duration of your spin class, miserable, but Jonathan claims that it's for your own good. Although we're glad to see him back in front of the camera, it's a little contradictory to all his talk about fitness that he now hosts a show on the Food Network called Cake Wars. Hey, if you think about it, encouraging people to stuff their faces full of cake is also a great way to get them to the gym at some point. Trivia time! You undoubtedly remember a young Jeff Cohen, better known as Chunk from The Goonies. Well, this star truffle shuffled away from the world of acting to pursue this much more ordinary career. What is Jeff Cohen up to now? We'll tell you at the end of the video. Jonathan Lipnicki. If you needed an adorable little bespectacled kid for a movie during the 90s and early 2000s, Jonathan Lipnicki was who you'd call. He was in some of our favorite movies, including Jerry Maguire, Dr. Dolittle, and the Stuart Little movies. Because of his large round glasses, some would have described him as nerdy looking, but we have a feeling he doesn't get called that much anymore. Although he confesses that he was picked on during middle school and high school, he claims that he doesn't regret his acting career. Once he graduated, he was free to pursue his lifelong passion for Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. When he isn't training himself, he works as an instructor, sharing his knowledge with children. Although he still picks up acting roles when he isn't in the dojo, he hopes to eventually take off enough time to train for a professional fight. Being in a professional fight takes a ton of training, and right now Jonathan is satisfied with his teaching gig and claims that it's a great way to give back to the children of his neighborhood. Hanson. In 1997, it was almost impossible to turn on the radio without hearing Hanson's hit song, Bop. The band is made up of three brothers, Taylor, Zach, and Isaac Hanson. Although some people wrote them off as one-hit wonders, they've actually sold over 16 million records worldwide, and they've had 8 top 40 albums and 6 top singles in the US alone. But much like Dylan Sprouse, the trio has always had a passion for craft beer. They created their signature brew, which they describe as a pale ale with a unique toasted malt signature and a refreshing hoppy finish. And what is the name of the beer, you may ask? It's called Hops. When Bop came out, many people were puzzled about its seemingly nonsensical chorus, but suddenly it all makes sense. The Hanson brothers knew they would one day create their own beer, so they were playing the long con. They made a hit song they could later turn into a unique and creative beer name. Well played, Hanson, well played. Each bottle comes with a free music download, and a portion of their sales goes to support drilling clean water wells in Africa. Nikki Blonsky. When it comes to making a grand entrance to your film career, appearing in a film that broke the box office record for biggest sales at opening for a musical is a pretty good way to start. That's exactly what actress Nikki Blonsky did when she played Tracy Turnblad in the 2007 film Hairspray. After an amazing start working beside big-name actors such as Christopher Walken and John Travolta, it seemed that Nikki fell out of the spotlight as suddenly as she had entered it. Nikki confessed that compared to playing Tracy Turnblad, all other roles didn't match up to her expectations. She also faced casting agents who wanted her to lose weight to be considered for roles, but Nikki insisted she wouldn't lose weight for anyone but herself. Luckily, she had a set of career skills to fall back on during this time, and she began working as a hairstylist and makeup artist in her hometown of Great Neck, New York. She got a cosmetology license, and her job helped her stay afloat while she waited for her big break. Now she's begun doing some acting roles in between makeup clients and has entered into voice acting as well. Noah Hathaway. Although he's appeared in many films, most of us know Noah Hathaway best from his role as Atreyu in the hit film The Neverending Story. He was a child at the time, but he performed most of his own stunts. This was doubly impressive when you remember that most of these stunts involved riding on horses and flying on a dragon. After a nearly 10-year hiatus from acting, Noah occasionally takes on a small role here and there, but spends most of his time working a very different job. He became a dance instructor and taught his students advanced jazz and street dance. If anyone found the idea of Noah dancing amusing, we're guessing they kept it to themselves based on his other passion, martial arts. He earned black belts in both Tang Soo Do and Shotokan karate. When he wasn't teaching the art of dance, he was competing as a Muay Thai boxer and practicing American Kenpo. Oh, and he also enjoyed spending time at Willow Springs Raceway in Rosamond, California, competing in supersport motorcycle racing. That is, of course, when he isn't racing, designing and building his own choppers. Tom Selleck. Tom Selleck and his infamous mustache have had a long and illustrious career. Since starring in the series Magnum P.I., he has appeared in over 50 roles, including roles on Friends and Las Vegas. After such a lengthy and distinguished career, Tom finally decided to settle down and get a much more ordinary job as an avocado farmer. He bought a 60-acre plot as mostly a hobby before becoming enraptured with the farm. Tom even has a friendly rivalry with next-door neighbor and fellow avocado farmer Jamie Foxx. In fact, he was so determined to maintain his crops that he misappropriated water during California's water ban. How did he get caught? Ironically enough, he was found out by a private investigator hired by the town. He was forced to pay a $21,000 fine, which we assume went towards helping pay the $22,000 the investigator charged to crack the case. Even stranger is the fact that Tom doesn't even like avocados and claims he thinks they look strange and taste unpleasant. Maybe he hasn't given up acting because he sure had us convinced that he cares deeply for avocados. What is Jeff Cohen, who played Chunk on The Goonies, up to these days? What is Jeff Cohen, who played Chunk on The Goonies, up to these days? He passed his bar exam, became an attorney, and is a founding partner of Cohen & Gardner, LLP. Would you ever give up a life of fame and fortune to farm avocados or start a brewery? Most of us would do anything to be famous, so it's strange to think of someone ignoring their fame for more common pursuits. To see more videos about the lives of celebrities, be sure to subscribe to The Richest for more amazing content. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.